Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. Today, we're going to dive into a tense and emotional story, where hidden truths slowly come to light, masks begin to fall, and a peaceful family is pulled into a dangerous game of manipulation, fear, and courage. You'll witness suspicion turning into certainty, love being tested, and a quiet storm growing stronger with every choice these characters make. If you enjoy deep, dramatic stories filled with mystery and unexpected twists, make sure you stay until the end. And if you find this story interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming episodes. Hello, dear friends. Something unseen has been slowly rising beneath the surface, and now it can no longer stay hidden. The truth is beginning to show itself, and the gentle mask Thomas has worn for so long is finally starting to crack. Huyen had felt it early on. Jay didn't believe it. But now, piece by piece, everything is falling into place. Thomas is not as innocent as he appears, and somewhere behind him, someone else is pulling the strings, quietly steering events toward one goal, tearing this small family apart and pushing Huyen to the edge of despair. The question now is simple, but terrifying. Should Huyen go to the police? Or would that single decision send everything completely out of control? For Maya, an innocent child who deserves protection. For Wai, a man ready to face danger head-on. And for Huyen, who knows she can no longer afford to be weak. She has to stand strong, even with a storm clearly forming on the horizon. At the same time, Jay has chosen a different path. He confronts Thomas directly, forcing him to speak, to reveal what he's been hiding. But is this confrontation the beginning of the end? Or just the first step into something far more dangerous? The truth is getting closer, but every step toward it seems to demand a higher price. And the biggest question remains, who is really behind all of this? Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Do you think Huyen should go to the police, or should they continue enduring everything in silence? Stay with this story because what comes next, no one will see coming. Evening slowly settled over the village road. The late afternoon sun hovered just above the treetops, bathing everything in a soft yellow glow that made Jay's chest tighten for reasons he couldn't quite explain. His old motorcycle rolled steadily forward, carrying him toward the small school where Maya was waiting. The wind brought with it the scent of damp earth and distant birdsong. Everything felt peaceful, almost too peaceful. But inside, Jay was anything but calm. Huyen's words from that morning replayed in his mind, again and again, clear and persistent. "I don't know why," she had said, "but every time Thomas appears, I feel uneasy." At the time, Jay had brushed it off. He'd even been a little too confident. He trusted his instincts more than vague feelings. To him, Thomas had always seemed calm, soft-spoken, and kind. A man with no obvious ill intentions. But now, that very kindness sent a chill down his spine. As the motorcycle moved forward, memories surfaced one after another. Thomas always appearing at just the right moment. The questions that sounded casual, even friendly, but somehow went too far. What did Maya like? What time did they pick her up? Where did Huyen work? How much did she earn? Each question asked with a warm smile, an attentive tone. Back then, Jay thought Thomas was simply being kind. Now, as he connected each detail, something disturbing became clear. Not a single question had been pointless. A few days earlier, driven by nothing more than a strange gut feeling, Jay had followed Thomas. There was no clear accusation in his mind, just that deep instinct that warns you when something is wrong. Thomas took side roads, doubled back more than once, and eventually stopped in front of a quiet, secluded cafe. There, he met with an unfamiliar man. They didn't speak for long, but Thomas's expression in that moment was completely different. No gentle smile, no warmth, just cold focus, calculating. Watching from a distance, Jay felt his heart race. In that instant, he understood something terrifying. Thomas's kindness wasn't real. It was a mask. Behind it was someone patient, methodical, and quietly working his way into the life Jay and Huyen had built after so much pain. The motorcycle came to a stop in front of the school. Maya ran out the moment she saw him, her face glowing with excitement. She wrapped her arms around him tightly. "Uncle Jay, the teacher praised me today." Jay smiled and gently ruffled her hair, but for a brief moment his expression turned serious. He held her hand just a little tighter, as if making a silent promise. No one has the right to hurt this child. No one. As they rode home, the shadows of the setting sun stretched long across the road. Jay stared ahead, his decision already forming. If Huyen's fears were real, if Thomas truly meant to destroy this family, then he would not stand by and do nothing. Appearances could deceive anyone, but his love for Huyen and Maya wouldn't allow him to look away. The hidden current was growing stronger, and this time, he was ready to face it. The wooden door creaked open and warm light spilled into the small yard. Maya let go of Jay's hand and ran toward Huyen, her clear voice ringing through the dusk. "Mom, I'm home." Huyen, busy in the kitchen, turned immediately. Her face lit up as she knelt down to hug her daughter. "Did you behave at school today?" "Yes, the teacher even praised me." Their laughter blended together, warm and comforting. It was the kind of simple moment Huyen treasured deeply. But behind them, Jay watched in silence. He smiled out of habit, though unease twisted inside his chest. He set Maya's small backpack on the table, then paused, taking a slow breath. The image of Thomas's cold stare, the cafe, the secret meeting, none of it would leave his mind. Huyen noticed his expression and grew concerned. "Is something wrong?" she asked gently. "I'm just tired," he replied quickly. He waited until Maya ran off to her room, excitedly showing off her school items, before turning back to Huyen. His voice dropped, controlled but heavy. "Huyen, about Thomas. I should have believed you." She froze. "I saw him today," Jay continued. "Not by accident. He met with some shady people in town. It wasn't normal. They knew each other well." The air seemed to grow colder. Huyen closed her eyes briefly, a faint, sad smile on her lips. "I know," she said calmly. "I've suspected it for a while." Jay's heart sank. "So everything he's done, you believe it was intentional?" She nodded. "Worry doesn't come from nowhere. He got close to our family for a reason." Her fists tightened. "He wanted to know everything. About Maya, about you, about my weaknesses." Jay clenched her hand, anger flashing in his eyes. "I was wrong." "It wasn't your fault," Huyen said quietly. He hid it well. From the next room, Maya's innocent laughter drifted out. Both of them turned toward the sound at the same time. In that moment, they understood. They could no longer afford to be naive. "I won't let this go any further," Huyen said firmly. "No one touches this family. No one touches Maya." Night had fully fallen outside. The wind picked up, rattling the windows, as if warning them of what was coming. But inside that small house, a decision had been made. The room fell silent. Huyen's voice trembled as she spoke again. "I told you before. I felt something was wrong. You didn't believe me." Jay lowered his head. "I'm sorry. I trusted too easily." "I don't blame your kindness," she replied, tears forming. "I blame you for ignoring my fear." Her voice broke. "If you hadn't seen it yourself, you would have waited until it was too late." "I want to go to the police," she said after a moment. "Not for revenge, for protection." I don't want Maya paying for our mistakes. Jay stepped forward, but Huyen hugged him first, holding on as if letting go would shatter everything. You're Maya's father. If this family breaks, I couldn't survive it. That was when Jay finally broke. He wrapped his arms around her, his voice shaking. Forgive me. I won't let you face this alone again. Tomorrow, I'll go to the police. I promise. Inside that embrace, for the first time in days, Huyen felt she wasn't alone. From the doorway, Maya's soft voice interrupted. Mom? Dad? They wiped their tears quickly. Jay lifted her into his arms. It's okay, sweetheart. We're here. The three of them hugged tightly, small, fragile, but bound by love, standing together as the storm drew closer. And this was only the beginning.
Trong câu chuyện cảm động này,
This story follows a quiet family whose peaceful life is slowly threatened by hidden schemes and carefully crafted lies. What begins as a vague sense of unease turns into a chilling realization when Thomas's mask of kindness starts to crack. As suspicions grow, Jay uncovers disturbing clues that suggest Thomas is not acting alone, but as part of a much larger and darker plan. With Maya's safety at stake and fear creeping into every corner of their home, the family is forced to make painful choices between silence and confrontation. A tense face-to-face meeting reveals that the danger is far closer than expected, and that the true enemy may not even be fully visible yet. Just when it seems the truth is within reach, new threats emerge, leaving one haunting question behind. How far will they have to go? And what will they lose before everything is finally revealed?